I worked the pharmacy counter in Amsterdam for 6 years. A woman stormed in, slapped down a prescription from her American doctor, and demanded I fill it immediately. I explained I needed a Dutch doctor to authorize it first. She stared at me like I'd suggested sacrificing a goat. "My doctor went to Harvard," she said. "Your doctor probably went to school in a barn." I told her our doctors trained for 7 years minimum. She rolled her eyes. That's the problem with socialism. Too much training, not enough common sense. She left, muttering about medical tyranny. 2 hours later, she returned with a Dutch prescription for the exact same medication. I track these encounters full-time, so you don't have to. Most creators tell stories. I document systems. If you want to understand how American conditioning collides with the rest of the world, this is the only feed that shows it clearly. Subscribe and stay fluent in reality. Picked it up without a word. No apology, no acknowledgement. Just grabbed it and walked out like the previous conversation never happened. In Berlin, a tourist asked our hotel receptionist where the nearest urgent care was. My coworker gave him 3 hospitals within walking distance. He shook his head. "No, urgent care, not a hospital." She explained that emergency departments handle everything here. He insisted urgent care was different, cheaper, faster. "Hospitals are for dying people," he said. She told him it was free regardless. He laughed. "Nothing's free. What's the real price?" When she repeated it was covered by insurance, he accused her of hiding fees. He spent 40 minutes arguing about copays that didn't exist. Finally left to find an urgent care that wasn't there. These stories share a pattern. Americans arrive in Europe expecting their healthcare system to be universal. When it's not, they create elaborate theories about why everyone else is wrong. This is the pattern I keep finding. Belief so strong it bends reality. Most people scroll past these moments. The ones who subscribe want to understand why they happen. That's the difference between watching culture and dissecting it. I manage a pharmacy in Paris. An American handed me a bottle of Ambien from home, half empty. "I need more of these," he said. I explained he needed a French prescription. He held up the American bottle. "This is my prescription. It's right here." I clarified that prescriptions don't transfer between countries. He tapped the label. It says, "Refills allowed." That means anywhere. I told him it meant anywhere in America. He demanded to speak with the head pharmacist. I was the head pharmacist. He asked for my supervisor. I owned the pharmacy. He pulled out his phone, called his American doctor, and held it toward me. Explained to him why you won't do your job. His doctor, half asleep due to time zones, groggily confirmed prescriptions aren't international. The tourist accused us of conspiring against him. He left a review claiming French. Pharmacies refuse to honor American medicals. Authority. He also reported me to the American embassy for denying him. Medication. A woman in Copenhagen approached our pharmacy window with a handwritten note from her grandmother. "My grandma says I need this for my anxiety," she told my colleague. It wasn't a prescription, just a note saying, "Get Emma some Xanax." My colleague explained she needed an actual prescription from a licensed doctor. The woman insisted her grandmother was a retired nurse, which basically counts. When my colleague refused, she asked if we had anything like Xanax but over the counter. My colleague offered herbal teas. She scoffed. "In America, we have real medicine." She bought nothing, then posted on Facebook that Danish pharmacies only sell tea and socialism. I worked a shift in Stockholm when an American man asked for Adderall. I requested his prescription. He said he didn't have one but could describe his symptoms. I explained that's not how prescriptions work. He offered to pay extra. "In America, that's called a convenience fee," he said. I clarified that was called a bribe here. He acted shocked. "So you'd rather I suffer than make a little money?" I suggested he visit a doctor. He complained that would take too long. What if I just take something similar? I told him everything required prescriptions. He left, annoyed, saying Swedish healthcare, punishes responsibility. I work emergency intake in Munich. A tourist arrived with a twisted ankle from tripping on cobblestones. After examining him, our doctor said he'd be fine with rest and ice. The man asked about the bill. The doctor said there wasn't one. He laughed nervously. Seriously, how much? The doctor repeated it was free. His face went suspicious. What's the catch? No catch, just public health care. He demanded an itemized receipt anyway. I need it for my insurance, he said. We don't generate bills for free services, so there was nothing to give him. He grew agitated. You have to bill somebody. That's how hospitals work. When we insisted it was free, he accused us of planning to charge him later. I've seen this scam before, he muttered. He left, ankle-wrapped, convinced he'd receive a surprise bill eventually. He emailed our hospital twice, demanding proof of zero balance. We sent him a letter confirming no charges existed. He replied asking which collections agency would contact him. In Oslo, a woman brought her daughter in for a fever. After a quick exam, our pediatrician prescribed rest and fluids. The mother asked when the real doctor would arrive. Our pediatrician had 12 years of training. The mother clarified she meant a specialist. For a common cold, a specialist wasn't needed. She insisted American doctors would run tests. Blood work, x-rays, the whole thing, she said. Our doctor explained that over-testing wastes resources and exposes children to unnecessary procedures. She called that lazy medicine. She demanded we test her daughter anyway. When we refused, she threatened to report us for negligence. She left, shouting that Norwegian healthcare lets children die to save money. Her daughter recovered in 3 days. I translated for a Romanian hospital when an American man arrived after a minor car accident. He was uninjured, but wanted a full checkup, just in case. Our doctor examined him thoroughly and declared him fine. The man asked about CT scans and MRIs. The doctor said they weren't necessary. He insisted he needed them for his insurance claim. The doctor explained, "We don't scan people without medical reason. That's malpractice in America," he said. The doctor clarified this wasn't America. He demanded scans anyway, offering to pay. The doctor refused, saying unnecessary radiation was unethical. The man grew furious. "So you're telling me I drove all the way here for nothing?" He hadn't driven anywhere. An ambulance brought him. He filed a complaint claiming our hospital refused treatment to extort money. He wanted scans so badly, he flew home early to get them. They found nothing. I spent 2 years working hospital administration in Brussels. An American couple arrived after their son broke his arm skiing. Our orthopedic surgeon set the bone, casted it beautifully, and scheduled a follow-up. The father asked about payment. I explained their travel insurance covered it completely. He didn't believe me. "There's always a gap," he said. I showed him the insurance confirmation. Zero balance. He squinted at the paper like it was written in code. "What about the doctor's fee?" "Included." "The cast?" "Included." "The follow-up?" "Included." His wife looked near tears. "This would have cost us $8,000 at home," she whispered. The husband still seemed skeptical. "So what do you get out of this?" I told him we got a healthy child with a properly healed arm. He shook his head slowly. "That's not sustainable." I mentioned we'd been doing it for decades. He called it borrowed time. As they left, the wife turned back. "I'm sorry we lived somewhere that made us forget this was possible," she said quietly. That one stayed with me. These stories reveal something deeper than ignorance. They expose a system so broken that people forget what normal looks like. Americans don't arrive expecting bad health care abroad. They arrive unable to imagine good health care exists anywhere. When they encounter it, their first instinct isn't gratitude. It's suspicion. They've been conditioned to believe suffering is part of healing, that if medicine doesn't bankrupt you, it doesn't count. The sad part isn't that they argue with us. It's that they've been trained to argue with themselves about whether they deserve basic care. We'll keep treating them anyway. Even the ones who yell, threaten, and leave bad reviews. Even the ones convinced we're running scams. Because that's what healthcare means here. You show up hurt, we make you better. you leave without debt. It's not socialism. It's not a trick. It's just medicine the way it was always supposed to work. Maybe one day they'll stop being surprised by that. I'll keep tracking these moments until surprise becomes understanding. If you want to see how everyday systems reveal the cultures that built them, subscribe now. Because the next story will challenge another belief we've mistaken for truth. Until then, we'll be here, explaining the same thing over and over. Someone has to.